Hello, I'm Samantha Rolone and welcome back to my channel, Shekinah Glory Homemaker. On my channel, I love to share all things about homemaking, everything from preserving and scratch cooking to homeschool. Anything that's centered on the home, I love to talk about here on my channel. And you guys have been asking me for a while now to share our curriculum picks for the 2023-2024 school year. And it has just taken me forever to get to doing this. We've had sickness going through the home, and canning season has begun, and so I've been up to my eyeballs in tomatoes and blueberries and all the canning things. So my daughter is over here, so if you hear some noise in the background, she's over playing with my baby right now, keeping him happy while I do this video. So we'll see how far I get. I am planning to go ahead and do curriculum choices per grade level, so that it'll be easier for people when they're searching on YouTube to find the grade level they need for their child. So I'm going to do my daughter's first. She's a second grader. I also have my son, he's doing third grade, fifth grade work, and then I have a 3-year-old doing preschool work. So I'll be sharing those curriculum videos this week. I am going to get it done. It's high priority this week just to get it done, because I know people are needing to make curriculum choices and get things ordered. So I'll go ahead and I'll share that today. And yeah, so let's get started. So this is our 6th year of homeschool. I started with my oldest son when he was in preschool. We actually did send him to like a preschool group, but then I also did bookwork with him. So I have used a lot of different curriculums, and now there's some things that I just know. That's what I'm ordering this year. I love that brand. We're sticking with it. And then there have been other things that I feel like every year I've tried something new because we just haven't found the right groove. So I don't want my videos to sound like I have it all together or I know everything. This is just what's worked for our family and what we're doing right now. And sometimes halfway through the year, you know, we kind of fizzle out because it's not working and we try something else. This is just what the plan is for right now. So bear with me. And I will tell you about all the things that I love and that we've used for a while, and then the things that are new. I also am only going to be sharing the things that I'm doing individually with my daughter. If you heard a big kerplunk over there, is my daughter falling on the floor. She's trying to make the baby laugh. So she's playing with him right now. Oh, honey, get that away from him. He's got the controller. He shouldn't have that. Thank you. We do family style learning for science, for history, for Bible, character development, foreign language, music, art, and typewriting. And then like fitness, physical fitness and stuff. So like all the extracurriculars we do as a family style, it's just easier, especially with having multiple children that are all different ages, for me to kind of break it down for them, for their level of understanding, than to have a different curriculum for each kid. Like, I don't know how I would get anything else done if I had to do individual curriculum for each kid. So these are going to be, what I'm going to be sharing today are what we do for reading comprehension, what we do for grammar, phonics, spelling, handwriting, writing. Did I say phonics and spelling? I think I did. Math, those things. 7 things? I don't know. I'm losing track here. But those are the things I'm going to share today. So let's get into it. First thing I want to share is what we're doing for reading comprehension and for grammar, okay? I do something super simple. My mom introduced this to me. She was a 2nd grade teacher for 17 years, so she knows a thing or two. Very good teacher. And we have very similar teaching style. And so she said, Sam, I know you're going to love this. And she was right. I love that this is just an open and go. I don't have to make any plans other than just kind of writing in what I think we're going to do for the week. But I can just open it up and it's simple. I don't have to like study how to teach this. And that's just these Evan Moore books. I love these. So she gave these to me about a year ago, and I've just been making copies of them for the kids to use. They're awesome. They're really good. So I have my daughter do a couple of these a day. So she does the reading comprehension fundamentals and the daily reading comprehension also. And I've noticed that they have really like paired nicely whatever she's doing in one book it's like a follow-up and like going deeper in the other book. So like today it was about the main idea. So she had like 1 page in this book, and then she loves these. She loves worksheets. She's like, can I do more? And then she had like 2 or 3 pages in the other one. So reading comprehension. And then we also are using, actually I didn't grab that off the shelf. I'm gonna turn around here and grab. Are using The Good and the Beautiful, these readers, just for her to do like her read aloud with me. And basically this is done either while Jack is taking his shower, and I'll have her come and sit down on my bed while I'm nursing the baby and my husband's giving our toddler a bath. I'll have her read to me. Or sometimes it's done while I'm making dinner. I'll say, hey, go grab your reader and you can read to me, and we can get your read aloud. So this is fit into the nooks and crannies of the day. It's not scheduled time, her doing her read aloud to me. And then she has to read for 30 to 45 minutes on her own. My kids love reading, so that's never a problem. Like, they always are reading, so I always can check that off easily. But that's what we're doing for reading comprehension. And then what we're doing for grammar, again, the Evan Moore books. I've got the grammar and punctuation book. I had to order this, so we haven't started this one yet, but it hasn't come yet, is the language one, the Evan Moore language. That will be coming. And then we also do these daily paragraph editing, and as like a warm up in the morning. And I really like these guys. These are very thorough, like with introducing concepts of, this is what an adjective is, this is what names of specific places begin with capital letters, this talking about punctuation, all that kind of stuff. I think it does a really good job, and they're just cut to the point. Like, again, I just open up, I go, teach it. So that is what we're doing then for grammar. So I guess this is kind of like our language arts. So that's that. So now let me go ahead and I'll get out our phonics and spelling program. So you'll notice we are very eclectic. I do not like having like one brand that I use for everything, because I haven't found a program that I'm like, oh, I think that their language arts curriculum covers everything that I think I want my kid to learn, or I think that their math program is as challenging as I need. Like, every program that we've used so far that is like all things has had some really good things about it, and then other areas where I felt like, that's not as much as I want, and so I've had to fill in the gaps. So like for us, like, I like piecing things together, like, oh, I really love this program and this and this and this, and I just piece it together. So you'll notice very eclectic over here. This just works well for our family. Okay, so the phonics program and spelling program that I use is called Fundations. Now, there is another program that I know homeschool families use called Foundations, so not to be confused with that. Fundations, it's by Wilson Learning. I have been using this with my daughter since she was in preschool. So she's in level 2 now. I've also used this with my 3rd grader. So I've done preschool through level 3 now. And I tell you, every level, fantastic. What I love so much about this program is that it teaches rules and not exceptions. You know, when I was growing up, when I was learning phonics, it was like, all these exceptions, you know, I before E except for C, and oh, except for this and this and this and this. And then there's exceptions to the exceptions. And it's so confusing to decode text and read when there's all these exceptions and you don't know why. So what Fundations does is says, okay, there's actually a reason for that exception, and it's actually a rule, and this is what it is. And it's just like, I'm telling you, as an adult, I'm constantly learning in this, and it's making me better, because it is explaining so many things that I did not understand and didn't know, were never explained to me, and things you figure out by the time you're an adult, but knowing why that is, it's really helpful. So I really like this, very thorough. There's no fluff in it. It's just straight to the point. It has a script in it, so I really like that because then I know exactly what to say, how to introduce it. You know, phonics is one of those subjects that it's like very important that there's no holes in their learning, that they have a very strong foundation. And so I just do not want to mess the subject up. So I'm telling you, this is so great. I have done other curriculum with phonics curriculum, and nothing like this. It's very good. So let me show you. So you're going to get Foundation Teacher's Manual. I will tell you, this is expensive. This is like $255 just for the teacher manual. So it is expensive, but you are getting what you pay for. It is worth every penny. And I gladly shell out the money every year for the next level. And of course, then I have it for my daughter who's coming up and then my son who's coming up. I just have to replace a couple other little, like their notebooks and things, which aren't very expensive. So nothing else is very expensive, but the teacher's manual is where the money's at, okay? It's worth every penny though. So they're not chapters, that goes by units, and each unit will have a different amount of weeks in it. Each week is 5 days. And so, you know, you can do that however you want. For us, a lot of times we take Fridays off from book work. So I just move that over into the next day, or sometimes I double up lessons if they're understanding the concept that we're doing well. But it will look like this. It gives you like this overview, the student plan of, this is the unit, how many weeks are covered in that unit, and then what you're covering each day. So each day they're going to start out by going through what they call sound cards. Okay, these are not in order because my daughter was playing with them earlier. They love these. And then it has in the back, I'm telling you, they're really mixed up. We use these all the time. All their digraphs, prefixes, things that they're going through. And they only do those cards once they've been introduced to them. So they don't do those sounds until they've actually had them introduced to them. But what I like about this is that they're repeating me as the mom. That's how it's supposed to be done is. So I'll say F, fun, and then she'll repeat F, fun, so that I can hear she's doing it the correct way. So that when she goes to read and she starts to do blends and things, if she's not doing it the correct way, that's when you'll start to notice with your child, like, oh, that's why they're not reading correctly and they're not understanding how to say that word correctly, is because they weren't pronouncing that correctly. And we actually have, here, let me grab it. This little owl, Mama Owl. It's a little puppet that comes with the curriculum. Its little head moves. How adorable is that? And it has a little baby owl, but my toddler is sleeping with it right now. He loves it. It's a little owl she holds. And you can hold baby owl, and you can put the baby owl like on a ruler or on a pencil, so it's a little puppet too. It's real small. Or you can use Mama Owl, and you just say, I use a little voice, character voice. Say, F, fun. And then, she does it. And it's just fun. Even my 8-year-old loves this little puppet, thinks it's fun. So we go through the sound cards first. Then the next thing that they do is they will go through introducing the new concept for that day. And then you can play with that. Yep, go ahead. So you'll have this letter board that's a dry erase board, and it's magnetic. I may have to take a break here. Are you okay? You want to come sit with me? Come here, bebito. Ay, vámonos. Let's go. Okay. Got Zeke with me right now. All right. So, got this letter board. It's magnetic. It's dry erase. And then they have all these letter tiles that they can take and build words, CVC words, all their spelling words. And they can play around with whatever the new concept is. There's digraphs, prefixes, suffixes, everything that they're going to learn in their curriculum for that year is on one of those little cards, and they'll play with that here, practice that. So they'll do that. And then, some spelling practice. They'll have like word of, then they have word of the day cards and trick words that they go through these and we practice. And you only do the ones that have been introduced to your child so far, so as not to overwhelm them. And then what I do is if they haven't mastered a word, when we start to get to the next unit, if there are words from the previous unit that they were struggling with that weren't real smooth, I keep those in with the current unit to keep reviewing. So trick words, sound cards, trick words, and word of the day cards. Yeah, you're funny. Okay. And then, okay. Oh my goodness. It also teaches them how to correctly form letters, how to write. So, it comes, you can get this little, and these are well loved because we've had these for years. I really probably need to use a little Mr. Clean eraser on here or something. But on this side, you'll see it says like the skyline, the plane line, grass line, and worm line. And like we will refer to that when they're writing frequently. I'll say, okay, when you form a P, we do sky writing. You're going to go up to the skyline and you're going to go all the way down to the grass line, then back up to the skyline, and then you're going to curve around at the plane line. And this then teaches them, so then when they go to writing it, they're doing that same thing. And then on the back is like the same thing, but at a smaller scale. So they can use that for writing practice. We also have these like magnetic kind of boards that they use with a stylus that they can also practice letters or writing words, just to kind of switch things up, give them another medium to use for practicing. Okay. You are being a ham. Okay. So that's what we use. Well, then it comes with a journal, student journal, which I basically never end up using. We use it other paper. So I don't get that, but I'm not saying that's not necessary. We have student notebooks, which I didn't grab. Did not grab that. I think it's still downstairs. But it comes with a notebook that you fill in. They're like vocab words. It has a whole list of all the spelling words from the entire year that they'll be working on. And then they can go through and write in words that they're struggling with in the back so they can practice those words. Oh my word, you're being such a goofball. Yeah. And you're probably hungry too, aren't you? And then there's this composition book, which is their test book. So, okay. So it'll say test them on sounds, on review words, current words, trick words, and then sentences. And it'll tell you like what in the sentence to test them on. Like, oh, we're testing on punctuation in capital letters, and then these words they should get correct. They should spell correctly. And then the rest of the words you don't worry about if they're spelled correctly or not. So at the end of every unit is a unit test, and there'll be a whole list of all the words that were introduced in that unit, and that's what we use for spelling for the kiddos. I gotta go take a little break and feed this guy, so I'll be back. But that is our phonics and spelling program, and it does teach them some handwriting. I have a program I use for handwriting, but this does introduce that. And it also does have like some reading comprehension in there. It has some grammar in there, but mostly it's a phonics program and a spelling program. Okay, so we've talked about what we're doing for grammar, what we're doing for reading comprehension, what we're doing for phonics and spelling. Let's talk about now what we're doing for handwriting practice and for a writing curriculum. So as I said, Foundations does teach kids how to form letters. So that is kind of some handwriting practice. And it does have sometimes things that they need to write. And does have a little bit of reading comprehension in it, but it's not a daily thing. And I want my kids to have daily practice in all those things. So that's why we are so eclectic and have like curriculums for each thing. So we really like the Learning Without Tears brand. And their writing program I'm really enjoying it. This is the first year using their writing program, but we've done the Handwriting Without Tears for 3 or 4 years now, and I really like it. So let me show you what those look like. I'm missing her handwriting book. Here it is. Okay, so handwriting first, okay? So she's just still doing printing, but it's very simple, and she just does a couple pages a day of this. It even goes over like numbers, and later this year she'll write some sentences, and it's just basically some copy work, practicing writing in like quotations, punctuation, making sure she's capitalizing things. But really, it's mostly how to form letters and numbers correctly, staying in the lines. So it's just some easy practice. And we usually do this like first thing in the morning to warm up. It's just a very light way to get started with the day. And then for writing this year, we're doing the same brand. They're Learning Without Tears. And I'll show you like an example. This is very fun. She does this and she always asks to do more. It's teaching them though how to be good writers. So teaching about narrative writing, informative writing, opinion, argument writing. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's it. So it teaches them how to do all those styles. So like, for example, it asked on one day, writers tell what subjects do. And it gives us an example, humpback whales migrate. And then she has to write something. Humpback whales swim. Writers describe things. Their example is they are black, gray, and white. Then she's supposed to write something below in the line. So it's, again, getting practice writing on lines. She wrote, humpback whales have brains that weigh 14 pounds. And so it helps them. They have to research something. I make them research something, whatever the subject that the writing curriculum had for that day. That's what we research for the day. So it's interesting because it changes every day. And then it's giving her an opportunity to learn about different forms of writing and use that. So that's what we're doing right now. When I finish that, my plan is to get into this other part that it came with. It has this book that she'll be reading, and I think it's supposed to be kind of some reading comprehension, but she'll just be writing about this, and has a writing journal for her to write and draw pictures of whatever she's writing about. And then I got the teacher's manual to teach me how to use all that. So, but right now we're just doing the building writers and the printing. Since we do year-round schooling, it's the perk that I can really spread it all out, and not have to do a little bit from each book every day. So this is new. The writing program's new to me, but I am already enjoying it. My kids are really enjoying it already, and it was not very expensive, so I like that. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to talk about today is our math curriculum. And guys, I have used this with my daughter all the way through since she was in preschool. I've used it with my son, kindergarten up till now. He used something else when he was in preschool. It wasn't a good fit for our family, but since switching to this, I will never switch to anything else as long as they have a level available for my kids, because it's so good. It's so thorough. It is the CPA method, which is concrete, pictorial, and abstract method of learning and teaching, which means basically they're going to learn things with like manipulatives, number blocks, that kind of thing, and understand they'll be able to do the problem and everything, but then they move into really being able to explain why it's a certain way and really understand how to do it just in their heads. So if your kid likes to do math in their head, or you want them to move to being able to do that, this is an awesome program. But whether your kid is gifted with math, accelerated in their understanding of math or not, this program is great for everybody because it's going to help to build a very solid foundation for their math skills and help to help fill any holes they have in their learning if they're missing something. So, because it just teaches them how to brainstorm and how to think deeply, okay? So Singapore Math Dimensions, that's the one, again, that we are using. I have filmed this video like 10 times because I keep getting called away to get snacks and things. So I'm sorry if I'm repeating anything. I'm like losing what I've already shared and what I haven't. So, okay, let's get to it. So Grace is doing the level 2 this year. And I will say, like, my mom and other teacher friends that I've had that have looked at this have all said that this is like a level ahead of whatever it says. So if it says level 2, really it's like what they'd be doing in like 3rd grade. So just keep that in mind if you're moving into this from a different homeschool program, or if you're moving into this from like your public schooling and now you're doing this. You know, if your kid is like right on track with their math for their 2nd grader and they're at 2nd grade level, then get the level 1. Or if they are further ahead with their math, you know, and then, you know, get level 2 because this will actually be like level 3. Does that make sense? Am I saying that? Like, does that make sense? So 2A is really like grade 3. So the dimensions comes with, you can get a teacher's guide, and I really recommend getting the teacher's guide because even though their math is something you know how to do, it teaches you, it gives you a script of how to introduce it, because I'm telling you, how many times have I come across something and I thought, oh, I know how to do this. And then I'm like, but wait a second, how do I break that down for my kid? And so I don't miss any steps or anything, or in their understanding. So I really love this. So the way it looks, let me go to the beginning of a chapter so that you can see. So it'll be going through here in the beginning, showing the overview of what you're going to cover in each lesson. And then it goes through like notes on all kinds of things that you're going to need to know. And it has, what I really love about this is first of all, it's colorful, so it's not boring as a teacher. I like that it's colorful. But it shows you what their actual textbook page looks like so that you can quickly, oh, this is on the page that they're on. And then you can look down and see, oh, that's what we're on. It's just nice. And then it has written in on all of like what their pages are. I don't think you'll be able to see this on my camera, but it has written in the answers. So that's really nice for that. So that's for the textbook. And then at the end of the chapter, so chapter 1, that's the end. That's all textbook, what you're doing in the textbook with them. Then at the end of the chapter, it does in gray so that you can really tell the difference, all the workbook pages, all here with the answers. So I really like this. I've been getting these teacher's guides since the very beginning. Highly recommend, definitely worth the money. They also have a at-home teacher's manual. That's another option you can get. And I decided to get that this year to try that out with my son for his math. And I don't like it as well. Let me actually grab it off. Okay. Here. So that's what this is. This Dimensions Math Home Educator's Guide. And I thought, oh, I probably should be getting the Home Instructor's Guide since I'm a home educator. No, I'm just telling you, I don't like this. I will not ever get this version again. First of all, it's just black and white. And it goes through and it says think, learn, and it gives the answers, do this. So it gives you the answers and it tells you what to do with them. It tells you like in advance what you need to know. But it doesn't give a script. So I really think the script is nice. In the teacher's guide, it'll say like, you're talking to a class, but it's so easy just to break it down and know how to say it to just one child. This doesn't have a script. And then it also isn't colorful, and it doesn't show me like the workbook page or the textbook page that we're working on. It just has like it's numbered off. So it's just not as easy to like look down and know exactly where he's on. Like I have to be like, okay, number 3, like, oh, like where is that? Like where is he at in his workbook, that kind of thing. So it's not bad. It's just that the teacher's guide is so much better. So get the teacher's guide. That's my recommendation. I am going to go back to the teacher's guide next year. So you get the teacher's guide, then there is a textbook, there's a workbook, and then there's a test book. In some years, the test book is for the entire year, but mostly everything is broken up into part A and part B for teacher's guide, textbook, workbook, and test book. And I like that because I think it's nice because if it's not working well for you, you're not stuck with that curriculum for the whole rest of the year. You can switch to something else. So I think that's good. Or like, you know, if you start your school year at a random time, like I have some friends, they start with the calendar year for their school year. So I don't know. I just think it's nice how it's broken up. If you need it, start weird times of the year, you have it broken like that. So yeah, the textbook is very colorful, and it has like a chapter opener, and this is what's going to explain how to do something, and then also have practice for them to do. The workbook, let me grab a workbook I know I brought a workbook up from last year. I knew I needed this. So we don't end up using the workbook very often. So I ended up not buying them this year for them. It's just black and white. At the end, it does have challenge questions at the end of each lesson, which that's nice. So if they need extra practice, they have that. But it doesn't explain how to do anything. So then you're having to go back to the textbook if they need more understanding on how to do something. You're having to go back and forth. It's set up so that you would do, like, for example, chapter 1, lesson 1 one day, and then the next day, chapter 1, lesson 1 in the workbook, so that you're getting practice in each one and you're spreading it out further. My kids have not needed that much practice, and so what ends up happening is we skip the workbook because they haven't needed extra practice. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend getting both textbook and workbook, because to me this program is not very expensive, so it's not like you're going to be spending a ton of extra money just to get the workbook. I think these are like $13 each, okay, for each thing. So you could get it at least for part A, and then if you feel like you didn't need it, then when you go to order your B books for the second half of your year, you could just leave it off your order and not get it. But yeah, we don't really use the workbook, and I find that myself, like if my kid did struggle with a concept with a lesson, I can just make up some additional problems that were from the textbook. I can just manufacture some things for them to do, like on a dry erase board or something, to get that extra practice in. So to me, I don't really feel like we need this. And like the challenge question's the same thing. Like I can just come up with extra problems for him to do. So that's why, like this year, I didn't end up buying the workbooks, and I don't plan to buy them moving forward anymore for my kids, because they haven't really needed them. Textbook, absolutely you need. So if you're going to pick between the two, get the textbook, because as I said, the textbook is what teaches your child the new concept. And it's just colorful and pretty, but it's not overstimulating. It's not like it's too much, like every square inch is colorful. It's very organized and neat. So yeah, I really like this a lot. The test books are black and white, and they're supposed to be timed. I mean, I don't always time my kids. I just let them do it at their own pace. And then it tells you how to score it. And at the back of the test book are all the answers. So yeah, I really like these. And it does have like continual assessments and like mid-year assessments in here built in. which is really nice. And then an end of year assessment. So that's really nice that they have that, not just for the chapters. And then every chapter has 2 tests, part A, part B, or test A, test B. And I've done this different ways, just depending on my kid at that chapter, what I think they need. Sometimes I do like test A, like halfway or midway through a chapter. And other days, other chapters, it'll be at the end of the chapter, we'll do both tests. One day, chapter A, next day, chapter B. So test A, I'm just going to read this directly, is focusing on key concepts, fundamental problem-solving skills. Test B will focus on the application of analytical skills, thinking skills, and heuristics. So they do test different things. You may find that some chapters you don't need both tests. And then other chapters, you want to be more thorough, and so you want 2 tests. So that's up to you as a parent. That's the nice thing about homeschooling. You can do what is best for your kiddo. So that is Singapore Dimensions Math. I just cannot say enough good things about this. I absolutely love this so much. I will say that it does have some elements of Common Core, but that is not the major style or whatever method that they're teaching. There's just little parts of that they put in there, and it hasn't bothered me. It uses 10 frames and like number bonds, like part, whole, a lot to explain new concepts of math. You'll see that just like spiraling through there, like they keep using that kind of thinking, that kind of brainstorming to teach. It is mastery style, so each chapter they have to master and then they move on. But then there's also like some spiraling, because whatever they learn last chapter, of course, whatever they're learning the next chapter is building upon that past knowledge. And I will say year to year, Jack did time and money, like he did it in like preschool, kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. He had 5 years where he was working on time and money, had chapters of each. And obviously just each time it got harder, got more difficult depending on what skills he had learned that year. They spiraled back and he got to do some of that. So I don't know. Since this is really the thing I've stuck with since preschool and I haven't explored other math things, I can't say, I don't know if that's how all math programs are, but I think that is really good that it's like that. Yeah, but I love this. So that is our math curriculum. All right, friends, I hope that this encouraged you. I hope that this was interesting to you guys and helpful. I love watching other people's curriculum videos and seeing what's out there. There are some things that I am just, I don't think I can ever change from, like our foundations and our Singapore math. I am just gung-ho about those. Those have worked so well for our family. I don't see us changing. But just because I love it doesn't mean that you need to feel like it's the best for everybody. This is just what we have loved and used and has worked well for our family. So yeah, I hope that no one ever feels like I'm saying like everyone should use this. This is the only curriculum that's good quality or anything, because that's just not true. Everyone's family is different. Kids are different, different kind of learning styles or anything. So this is just to give you information so you know an option, another option out there. But I thank you so much for being here, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I love building this community with you and connecting with you guys. Say hello below in the comments so I can come check out your channel and see what you are up to too and support your channel. And if you have any questions, you need links to anything, let me know below and I'll get that to you as soon as I can. And stay tuned. This week I will be sharing my son, his 3rd, 5th grade curriculum, my other son, his like preschool stuff, and then I'll be sharing all of our family learning style curriculums that we're doing too. Bye guys.